Hey, what's up, y'all? Jag from Jaggy Sports. It is May 26, 2022. Last night, or yesterday, whatever, during the day, report came out. Now, a report said the Nets are unwilling to give Kyrie Irving an extension. I thought that was plain obvious, right? But apparently, Kevin Durant has not spoken with the Nets organization, and the report says that he is upset. And my buddy was telling me that they got this crazy rule saying if they let Kyrie Irving go, or if they trade him, they cannot fill that void of that money back. I don't know what the hell it was, but my point is, I guess the report is saying Kevin Durant is upset. So put that aside. Do you think Kyrie Irving is worthy of an extension? And my opinion, 100% is no, because over the last 3 seasons, he's proven he's not worth the extension. He's worth the headache when he's playing, right? But that's just the thing. You don't know when you're going to get Kyrie Irving, right? Like, that's like, I'm a boss. I hired this one guy or girl, and to do the job, I pay them like a salary, annual salary, and then they don't show up, right? Like, they only show up when they want to. And why would I rehire them back when I have to make adjustments? I have to hire other people in their absence. I have to get the work done. Other people are taking on the workload, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, if I was in that scenario, I would do the same thing. I would not renew my employee's contract because, he or she is unwilling to come to work, and he or she is basically causing everyone else to have a headache because they have to take on that other person's workload. So it's essentially the same thing. It's basically you don't know when Kyrie Irving is going to take time off. And I can't remember the numbers here. He's only played like, I don't know, 60, 70 games or something, maybe even less, right? In the 4-year span or 3-year span. So at the end of the day, I just don't think that he's worth the headache of keeping him. I get Kevin Durant is upset. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if the reports are true or not. But at the end of the day, you got a business to run, and you cannot run a business when one other person doesn't even show up to work. Like if it's just one thing after the next. You're paid to play. That's what we signed you up for. And now it's kind of like, I don't want to play. I got to take 2 weeks off here and there, yada, yada, yada. It's the same scenario everywhere you go. Not just basketball. You have to take into consideration, if you own a business or if you work for this company, yada, yada, yada. It's the exact same scenario. You're not going to pay a guy to work, yet he doesn't even show up to work, right? Like, it's silly, right? So at the end of the day, it is what it is, but Kyrie Irving is Kyrie Irving. Unwilling to get an extension, and at this point, you might as well trade him. You 100% might as well trade him. Tell me what you think. Jag from Jaggy Sports. Leave a comment in the comment section. Is this a right move for the Nets organization not giving Kyrie Irving an extension? Jag from Jaggy Sports.
Kevin Durant hasn't spoken with the Brooklyn Nets front office since being swept in the first round of the playoffs, according to the New York Daily News' Christian Winfield. This is worth noting because Kyrie Irving is potentially hitting free agency. Irving can opt out of the last year of his $136.5 million contract this summer, and general manager Sean Marks will want some input from Durant before making that final decision. Winfield wrote the team is outright unwilling to give Kyrie a long-term extension because of his injury history and his decision not to get vaccinated against COVID-19. Big Perk back here with us. And Perk, I want to start with you. Do you think the Nets should offer Kyrie a long-term deal?
Yeah, they should. And look, let me explain to you why, right? This is a what have you done for me lately type league, okay? And when I say that is that we can't hold this year alone over Kyrie Irving's head because he didn't want to get the vaccination. There's a lot of players out there that didn't want to get the vaccination, okay? That still haven't got the vaccination, and some of them are playing right now. We can't hold this over his head because of the rules or laws that they had in the state of New York that he couldn't play in these games. Look, Kyrie Irving is box office. Who the hell you gonna give the money to? Patty Mills, Goran Dragic? You better give it to Kyrie Irving. Now, I would say this, if I give it to him, it's gonna be some contract clause in there. He has to play a certain amount of games. You know, I gotta hold him accountable to show up to work. But here's the thing that the Brooklyn Nets have in their favor. Kyrie Irving doesn't have a leg to stand on when it comes down to him actually debating or disagreeing or arguing for as how his contract could be constructed. Now, he could give a little pushback here and there, but at the end of the day, I feel like the organization has the upper hand, and I feel like they should offer him a long-term deal. Who else they're going to give the money to?
Kendrick Perkins, you're not wrong, but I'm going to hold your feet to the fire on this in a very, very fun way. I want you to imagine for a second we ain't on television. I want you to imagine for a second we at one of your barbecues in your backyard. In your backyard. See, you don't want that. You don't want that because you know where I'm going. Right? See, this is what is funny about it, Molly. He laughing because he know where I'm about to go. Okay, so we not on television. We at the barbecue. It could be at your crib. It could be at my crib. Because by the way, when I have one this summer, you invited, my brother. You invited. I got nothing but love for you, and I have plenty of food for you. All right. Let me ask you a question, Kendrick Perkins. If you the owner of the Brooklyn Nets and you got to invest long-term dollars in Kyrie Irving, you giving him a deal that's guaranteed more than 1 year at a time?
I am, Stephen A. I am.
Okay.
Who else I'm going to give it to?
Let me explain something to you right now. There's no way in hell you can do that. If you're running a business, you cannot invest long-term with Kyrie Irving in terms of guarantees. I have no problem, and I've been on the record. There's two sides. You can flip the side. You can switch it any way you want to. What I'm saying is this. Kyrie Irving is not good. He's not just great. He's spectacular. This brother, to me, is somebody you walk through the turnstiles to see. I got no problem if somebody said to me right now, I'm giving Kyrie Irving $50 million a year. I don't blink, Kendrick Perkins, until they tell me it's more than 1 year at a time. I literally believe the contract should be non-guaranteed, or a better way of saying it is an opt-out after a team opt-out after every single year. The problem with Kyrie Irving is one thing and one thing only. He don't want to show up to work until he wants to show up to work. Now, Kendrick Perkins, you're going to laugh about this because you know it's true. Kyrie is the type of person, I want to crystallize this for America to understand what y'all understand this. Kyrie Irving works hard. Kyrie Irving's not going to cheat you with effort. Kyrie Irving's not going to cheat you when it comes to working out off the court. He's going to put in his work. He's going to make sure his game is polished. He's going to be ready, except Kyrie the kind of person, if game is 7:30, why can't it be 6? Practice at 10 a.m. Why can't it be 1? We got to show up to this team meeting at 3 o'clock. Why can't I show up at 5? He wants to do what he wants to do when he wants to do it. And Kendrick Perkins, myself, or anybody else that challenges him on that theory. You see, we're peons. See, his intellect is so far beneath anything that we could possibly comprehend that we just can't grasp where he's coming from. You know, so he's literally one of those dudes that would text you, Kendrick Perkins, and says, "What's up, King?" and end the sentence by calling you a peon. He all over the place. He all over the place. This is who he is. And I'm telling y'all what I know. And so what I'm saying to you is this. Kyrie the type of person, you got to put in 10 hours. He'll put in the 10, but don't tell him when to put in the 10. He got a problem with that. If Kyrie Irving could change the schedule on a day-to-day basis of NBA games, he'll start one at 5:30, another night it'll be 8:30, another day it'll be 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It'll be practices some days it won't be practice. He wants to do what he wants to do. And he comes first by a mile ahead of anybody else. You can't give that brother a guaranteed deal because that means even when he does what he wants to do, no matter how disruptive it is to the collective whole, he still gets paid. He has proven that. Yeah. You got to give him money 1 year at a time.
Yeah, but Stephen A., here's the thing, and I'm not saying I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong, okay? But let me explain something to you and say this. This is why I give pushback at. If you do give Kyrie Irving a 1 year deal, what you think that's going to do to Kyrie Irving? That's going to make him act out even more. But if you somewhat show him that you appreciate, and yes, it is. If you somewhat show him, because the thing about Kyrie Irving is that when everybody's going right, he loves to go left. So accountability, right? And listen, I played with a lot of Hall of Famers, and I done played with some divas. Matter of fact, we done heard about Kawhi Leonard showing up to the plane late because his helicopter arrived, had the jet on the runway for an hour. So this is not the first time that we done saw a franchise or a superstar caliber player do this to a franchise. All I'm saying is this. Hold him accountable within the contract. Within the contract, because you're not going to get anything else out there better than I understand that, but listen, here's the thing, Stephen A. If you give him a 1 year deal, I believe a guy like Kyrie Irving is going to be rebellious. But if you give him a long-term deal and say, hey, Kyrie, we're really committed to you, but we're committed to you in this form of fashion. Let's work things out. I think you'll get the best version of Kyrie Irving.
We got to get in a break.
That's my honest opinion.
I got you. I just can't believe that you said, this about Kyrie Irving. This brother has been treated marvelously well throughout his NBA career. When has he been mistreated? Who did that?
I understand, but I understand that, but what you gonna lose him?
All right.
No.
If you're the
Let's
Brooklyn
leave it
Nets,
there, guys. Let's get into break.
You done lost Karis LeVert, Jared Allen, James Harden. You can't afford to lose him.
Kyrie shot 47% this season, and he's missed 54% of games since joining the Nets in 2019. Still come here on First Take. Did you hear what Kendrick Perkins had to